Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I'm live from out of town, so I'm a little bit of at a handicap here, but I'm still going to do my best to at least give an update on Chainlink. So before I get started, as you know, this is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, and I'm just here to give my opinion on the market. Okay, so let's take a look at things here. And I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to be a little slower moving through this because I know that my internet connection in the location where I'm at is not the greatest. So I'm still going to do my best to give us a an opinion on things and try and draw some things out for us here. But just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so on Chainlink, we were looking at the breakout above 285, right? And even if you sold at 285, you would still be able to buy back and accumulate more now, even if you missed the push up to 315. All right, and we were talking about this blue zone over here, and this blue zone here that I drew out had everything to do with the trend-based fib extension. So as you can see here, I start from the top, I work my way to the bottom, and I go back up to the retrace. And this is where I try and determine where a pivot is going to occur, and also where the target might be. And my first target is always going to be the 618, and that's exactly where where the bottom of this blue box is located, right here at the bottom of the 618 extension. And all that simply means is this move right here is 61.8% the length of the first move down. Okay. Your next target is going to be 100%, which means you basically have, let me draw this out here. Starting from the top, you have wave 1 or wave A, wave 2 or wave B, and then you're going to go down for the C. And you're going to be targeting the 61.8, you're going to be targeting the 100, and in an extreme case, you would be targeting the 123.6. Okay? Now let's just talk real quick about that 123.6 and what that would mean. Okay, at this point I don't want us to come down this far past the 123.6 because at this point, since we have broken up above $3, right, where we're currently trading below, we're currently trading about $2.82. If we break down below this 123.6, which is at $2.60, probability says we're going to come all the way back down here to 246. And if we do that, we're likely only going to retrace back up to about 265 or 270. And then we're going to go down even more. Okay, so we are at a point right now where buying dips on Link is cool. All right, so it's the cool thing to do. You buy dip on Link, and then you hope for it to, to recover and to go back to, over $3. Now, is that going to happen? I do think that it probably will, but I have to know when I'm wrong, and anybody that's trading has to know when they're wrong. And in this case, buying the dip right now on Link, you're wrong if we go back down below $2.70. If we even start closing hour or 2 hour candles between $2.70 and $2.77, so basically where this support was created, if we start closing below that, you better start considering seriously about cutting your losses and just waiting. Because as we outlined, I believe we did this a couple days ago, we already have a little bit of a bearish cross here. So we've already got the 21 that crossed below the 55. Ideally, and actually just to add to that, the 21 exponential crossed below the 100 exponential also. The 200 simple is still going strong. It's still up here. We're still trading above the 200 simple. But we're right now trading below all of these other moving averages, which is, a little concerning. But that doesn't mean that the price can't recover. Of course, whenever we're talking about price recovery, it's usually after there has been a sell-off. So, naturally you would expect there to be a drop before you have a recovery. And as far as this correction goes, this is still a pretty healthy correction in my opinion. Coming all the way down here to $2.70. It wasn't the 250 I was dreaming for, although my bids on the Link BTC pair did not fill, which leads me to believe either Bitcoin is going to skyrocket and Chainlink versus Bitcoin is going to drop a little bit and maybe hopefully fill in those bids, or we're going to see Chainlink, finally start to roll over and maybe start a bearish trend. Now, again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that we have to be prepared for those scenarios. Now, if we take a look at Chainlink on a much higher time frame, we're going to take a look at Chainlink on a daily time frame. There's a couple things that I want to take a look at here. The first thing, of course, is the rejection that we continually get at this 50% retrace. We haven't touched that 618 yet. We stopped at the 50. We overshot it just a little bit. Excuse me. We overshot it just a little bit, and we did get a little bit of a rejection. And if I take a look again here on a daily time frame, if I take a look at some of my oscillators, we're seeing higher high, higher high. But the other thing we're seeing here is right here, we had a pretty decent high on our oscillator and also on our RSI. So let's just take a look at this. We'll drill into this for just a moment. So we have our high right here, and then we have a lower high right here. The same thing is true for the RSI. So we do have bearish divergence that we do have to pay attention to. And on the daily, we're not showing any kind of a bottom being created over here. For us to have confidence in this trade, we got to get rejection here on the stochastics. We're going to have to get rejection here on the RSI. So I'm basically basing these off of, this cluster on the RSI that we've got over here. Right now we're getting ready to touch it down here. We got to see these things start to curl back up. And that's not an easy task to do, because in order for RSI to move upwards, and in order for stochastics to move upwards, the price also has to reverse as well. And RSI and stochastics, they all react to price. They don't make the price happen. So if this is going to start moving back up, then I do think our oscillators are going to have a chance to recover. But right now, they're pointing down. So I do have to look at this from both sides. And even though on this 3-hour candle, that was a really great looking rejection wick, that is a good sign that we do have some upside ahead of us. And also, if you take a look at the 3-hour on the stochastics, we're down here in the bearish zone. And that would mean that a cross could indicate that we are going to have some continuation to the upside. We might have some upside ahead of us. The daily trend is down right now, but your lower intraday timeframes are still looking pretty good. So I would say that there is good potential for a bounce here, probably, if I had to guess, to at least up here to about 290. I would love to see it come back up to about 299, and I want to see what the reaction is there. Because, just like everybody else, anybody that now currently has money tied up in Chainlink, they want to see this go up. But you have to know when you're wrong. And in this case, for me, a stop loss on Chainlink is going to be right down here, about $2.69. If we come back down here, I would say that it's going to go much lower. I do think that we do have some potential in the short term for some more upside. And with enough volume, this can happen very fast and it can go much higher. But without a decent amount of volume, and again, looking at volume, let's take a look over here. Look at all this volume that we had over here. And take a look at how much volume that we have now. For a sell-off that moved the price so much, there was not a whole lot of volume behind it. But it took a whole lot to get it up here. So that's another thing that we really have to pay attention to. You have to pay attention to the volume as the price moves, because, right now I'm saying that we do have potential for short-term upside, but we have to have volume to come back in to support that, because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be really salty that they bought up here, right? A lot of salty buyers. They're going to look at that and they're going to say, oh, hey, I have a chance to break even, so I'm going to go ahead and sell. And in order to blow through these levels, in order to blow through these support and resistance levels, in this case resistance on the way up, we have to have volume to support it to follow through with that. Chances are pretty good it's not going to be the little people like you and me. It's not going to be the little people like you and me that are going to make this price go up. It's going to be the big players that are going to try and do a markup on price in order to start a distribution phase. And, to be quite honest, to be completely honest, this does look like a little bit of distribution going up here. But that doesn't mean that there was reaccumulation down here, and it doesn't mean that there was reaccumulation down here. I'm simply saying that right up here, this looks like distribution. We had lots of volume that took us up here, and then a decent amount of volume that brought us back down. So it's not going to surprise me if we, get that push up for a redistribution phase. And what that is going to look like, let's just take a look at this from the top down to the bottom. Areas that we have to pay attention to are $2.93. Trying to get a jump on things here. $2.93. We got to get through the 618, which right here at $2.98 to $2.99. This area, which we're likely to go back and revisit, we got to push through that. If we can't push through that $3 mark, then things are not looking very good, and we are likely going to be targeting to the downside about $2.60. But again, we're going to have to take this with, an hour at a time, a day at a time. Keep an eye on these things. And I know I've talked about Chainlink for a long time now, so I'm going to probably, cut it short here. But yeah, we have to know that the bottom is going to be right down here about 269, 270. We have to have our stop loss there. We're starting to get a bearish cross here on the 3-hour chart. The 21 exponential is crossing below the 55 exponential. On the 2-hour chart, it's already happened. I'd be willing to bet $1,000 that it's already crossed on the 1 hour as well. So we really have to have, bulls come in, big money coming in to mark up this price. Otherwise, what basically has just happened is we got this bullish, this bullish formation that, that we were recently trolled about, and how it was, quote, obvious that the price was going to break out, and we don't know what we're talking about, but nonetheless, we've rolled over. And, I talk about this all the time too. Okay, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to wrap it up here. Bitcoin controls the price of the tether trading pairs. In order for the tether pair to go up while Bitcoin's price versus US dollar is going down, is if the Bitcoin trading pair is moving exponentially faster than Bitcoin going down. If I take a look at Chainlink versus Bitcoin, you can see here that we are basically being rejected here, resistance at about 36,000. We are consolidating here, which is nice. It does look like the daily stochastics are looking like they're going to be starting to move to the downside. But again, let's take a look at the 3-hour and see what the 3-hour looks like. 3-hour is getting support at the 55 exponential, and it's trying to break above this 21 exponential. We have seen this before. In case you haven't, in case you don't remember, we have seen this before, and the 21 exponential kept squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, kept squeezing the price inside the 21 and the 55, and eventually it broke down. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this time, but what I'm simply saying is on the 3-hour, if this 21 exponential and the 55 exponential continues to squeeze, the chances of it pushing down are pretty good. And right now, stochastics are looking, pretty neutral right now in the 3-hour chart. If I go down to the 1-hour chart, things still have a little bit of room to the upside. And again, on the 1 hour, we're still, kind of fighting there at the 55 exponential in the 1 hour. And this is Chainlink versus Bitcoin. So, it does look like we're trying to break up, but we do have a pretty clear trend line here, actually, which you can see. So this trend line, which is currently governing price action right now, we just got rejected there just a couple hours ago. So, we got to push above that. There is the meme that I can see here that actually goes all the way back to about right here, where we've got a little bit of a pennant that we do have to pay attention to. Of course, if we break below that, if we break below the 200 simple on the hourly, that's not good. But overall, just so that I'm not being too confusing, I do believe we are going to have a little bit of a relief, not just on Chainlink, but also on Bitcoin. I do think that there is going to be a move to the upside here. How far it goes, I don't know. For Bitcoin, it might only be about 8,400. But that move up to 8,400, which is about $200 away from where we are right now, could give Chainlink that move back up to $3 that we're looking for. And if the Chainlink versus Bitcoin trading pair also moves to the upside, then that could, of course, take us a little bit higher as well. Right now, I'm not saying that we're going to go to $8 tomorrow. Again, this is a long-term play that we're working through here, trying to work through some accumulation. So sold at 285, buying back in. I had already bought about 50% of what I was planning on putting in. I bought that, a while back. I think it was like 295, and then I put the rest of it in, and it hasn't executed yet. I actually put that buy at, I think it was 32,600. But if this starts to move the upside, I'll put that other 50% in. But right now, I'm not all in based on what I was planning on investing. So let's say I'm only planning on putting 10% of my portfolio into Chainlink. I've only put half of that in, and I'm keeping the other half on the side, waiting for the right opportunity to to determine that the trend is going to continue to move to the upside, and that my investment would be safe. I'll go ahead and put that in there, set my stop losses appropriately, and pretty much walk away. So that's what I've got on Chainlink. Of course, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord and ask away. If you don't have an invite to the Discord, just throw in a comment inside of the chat here, and I can get you an invite. And as always, I hope you guys are all having a great day wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you all later.